If you be on patrol, mobile so I'm share page in my Bible study this is here. My money now cover so could in the program. So myself say the money no dada no. Share page in the my let's say more day. More share page in the uncle. Be about so I'm more day some other share page. The bit me a share and a share. Oba now also about my day I share with their mind. All right. Until good afternoon, good evening. Maybe I'll show me if you be a member of a small phone at the bar, political zone. So, and the program no a delay kakra because I don't know. I'm saying my videos, those until now. How do they call it? Uh, me a laptop that started slow. Come I started at a cry, and so my laptop kept giving me problems. I feel I met to me. I said to be here through I ever start. I said to the ball rolling. The message when they say oh hana oh she be there. Near kakra bi na mepɛ sɛ wobɛyɛ ama me ne deɛ mu ara. Wohwɛ me free Facebook a mɛsrɛ wo sɛ share page no ɛde ama me na afoforɔ so atumi ahu. Wowɔ YouTube so a mɛsrɛ wo sɛ wobɛhyɛ na afei deɛ ayɛ sɛ adɔma no anaa subscription no anaasɛ follow button na ayɛ sɛ adɔma no ɛwɔ YouTube hɔ no womia so ma me a ɛbɛboa paa nyankopɔn so ɛbɛhyira wo na afei wa like it mon like it say the amount page is relevant for some of you now you want to see the page grow. One of the things my page is relevant and then they say ube to me eja comment and hello hi cry na o try eboa ube jina so that on troshe on contribute she on cash and I say uteche so I won't share ya na moa intimate mo ani di mu ara we de adesre de na mesre mo oba so nko ade a ye interactive program no e koso ni na ebi wo asem bi a opese wo kan otwero kama na ye hu anu akan so ade ase intimesre mo amo YouTube no mo follow mo subscribe mo nja comment na mo share my Facebook so yesre mo amonye the same thing my na yentumi keep no very interactive because the more our page in the interactive, and you have more chance to get reach. So what I say, it's page in more interaction, and to mean reach. You can reach it to me quickly. So basso me da say an apple me who say oh mommy gift the ade mommy be an me and show a name no more nti no sa oba na wo share oba na uja comment oba na oye interactive and ebeboa ama obi fofora sebe ono so ebi on TPT kuranka ono so betumi atena ye na etumi abom betin mesremo momode ana sese ye fremo a momra na ye meye ende medin kan abo muni na ma baso se mo abomode ana mo ne me still a edi juma ebisi sabri it's been 4 years and counting, and God has been so good. Name has been so good to us. They are no kind na Andra Namenam a TikTok, and Mrs. Lily invited me on one of the platforms, and I now Oka said, and someone me can wo political zone na and abemu and okre me nipa bia e bia pe my style of politics, and I say ABR my politics style and your fair. Now, so one thing is for certain, say open okre and ye sebe in truby and our person with tea, nembum open okre pa then definitely Felix Apia political zone will be a pager you will always want to listen to. Again, so we will be a what do we will be our dream na otini amasi the way as I say otini amasi na you would also come to like this page Felix Apia. We will be our pet young fan is propaganda and shadam fashion madia and no man Felix Apia only one. The only thing I like to do, and I said, yeah, me ya a mama kuma Tommy him, and then they say, Mama will be a home no cre a 1 year mem. Say, Makwako research, na metumi ama wogan and ina abia wajuma 1 or 2 bia we enti. To me, and yet, the way I opens away. And I said, the way I like you would like to research, you know, that should be a. We said, I mean, reading way quick. TikTok for Meba Musumeba say, your caption talks about everything you say. You are here for empty talks. If you're a good citizen, you. Sometimes I don't understand you people. Nana Kwame, I missed one. Okay, well, you know, and then I be to me. You know, their brains are gone and it's gone. But anyways, I would like to start my day off like I've said. Slowly and build it up. Until there for now, there's a free holiday for you to misbehave on the TikTok page. Like I was saying, you know, and many for several reasons. And then they say, I'm beginning to fall back in love with my party. And I said, for NPP. And say, you lose your banner, you know. Afina and Penifuni be any swire de aclec leomo. Ah, my who said there be Sassy, you come normally a second gun and can, yeah, never high. And Winter never who are Bibi Kakra, now Afenomark na Becassa, now Jerry Amega Becassa, now we are Becassa, now we are Becassa, now section leaders now, yeah, the almost to certain sectors, you know, no more P, not almost yeah, press conference, no more Casacasa. That is what we need. And you know, that is what we need. Because say yansa na yamasa NDC full kwanya then no omobetum futuro e de agunkrofo ani like they did for the past 8 years. Now most of them near no ye na said the American it is because say yes citizens na nkasa de bia maka these days na meba yes as much as say mechre niamem as much as say minimum bebubu information am wo minimum beche and all of that. The ultimate goal is for me to educate the Ghanaian voter to know, say, Sebe, yamfa eduane price and konkotoaba. Say, can it yenisa? And they're both NDC and MPP in Namayabeti as you say, yen to me fair eduane price and koyede and konko tuaba. Nembum systems need development. A bit to me a trigger ama eduane price abafom. And then they say, yes. And she say, yeah, ye di begua, e bema eduane price no, etumi aba from anase, be reasonable. And once and then like we are doing. Nti say maybe na me say me kasa. I just don't want you to take just the American or say me American to what you did. I rather want you to take the information. I remember the man free me pages of Felix Appear page we so no. Fako. One kasa say we NDC new, we MPP new, we CPP, it doesn't matter. Kona share information na me the amount no. Kohwehwem no say oh, there be me CPP need there. Now so say MPP ni boy asam o kan no and kure wo me kohwehwe ye ne me hu. Because one kasa so one kohwehwe ebema kwan ma ye no makakra na yetumi ko research edeba no de bia be di atro sebe ede akere mo. And I don't think that is the right way to go. Now there abema na koye crucial say one kasa wo be check and say enkrofo bi na na ka from media esesanka de ekoso bibia no mum ede no kre beba no and the media for so as political lenses. MPP media for be MPP for adwuma, NDC media be NDC adwuma. One year yakoye charge and pay media for be kwa kwaji disika abetwitwa atro de atonkofo so abobo keys asebe emfaso ni so e de atonkofo so esi meme de se mu betie mi a madwene mu no medwene di se anase me gidi se ba bi aga na edu no yakoye nim too much say yebema ye ho kwan na a few individuals they are trouble den ebeba bedada yen ede free say be hihye pa e bia na ya hihye eda wa na nka ye nti me de mesre that is what we need to do. Obi say boss, I think you need to promote your page very well, my boss, because this your page is old but low viewers anytime you come live. I don't know, my page has been reported several times. I'm even lucky say I still have a page. What they did to my page was to cripple my page at Two School King. If you care to know, what they did was to make my page not attractive. And when I say that, what they did is whenever they come on, they like they send their bots. They say robots now. They are then those. Internet bots now. They are there, no. And then what they do is they divert my views. It was sometimes obi be to me them a link be send o. Obi click link no so no enko. Na akoma baby fufuro me ba live notification as say show we follow our saw notification as say show say my banner it doesn't show no more for somebody to see. So you have to be a real good fan of Political Zone these days to catch the show. That is why we try to extend it to YouTube, and even with YouTube they have found a way to do that, and it is all because of who we are and what they scared that we can do. They know what we bring. They know what we can do. They know what we put together. It's always the truth, and it exposes them. And until the enemy page in there, it has been under attack for almost 3 years now. After 2020, about 200 pet, all those attacks started coming on my page. So it's not about promotion. The promotion is there. If you have people who are following you, over 45,000 people following you, now say Oba Live now. Just a few of them can see a notification because they care to come back and check on the page. I, for one, cannot do anything. But one thing that I'm so happy about, and I said, it has not changed me, whether people are here or people are not here. I still manage to get my message across. And I believe, as time goes on, true people, and I say, truthful people who want the truth to be spoken, who want to know the truth. Abe join every day say also no be to me aye and then say also be share no be so to me aye then obi so to me any be. But that was say you drew my attention to that. And again say na make us many ageno the minority or the mighty minority in parliament MPP for my yadi bi ma many age pa. Last week and I'm by Wednesdays and Thursdays, actually Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesday, me buy and I may back at will say I wanted to just open the State of the Nation's address in any sokakra. From there, no, I'm will say Friday, may juma. Now, I am there. Say a juma, ye bay and waha, you didn't come bay and wahano, and there a year mighty minority, penny flanka so more party anymore. And so a page on one more women as well. Say be yet to me, I then ye they are the true state of the nation at here are the able. Finance minister, just past finance minister, Itumi Edebetuga. Now, many more share some data, any figures be some okay. The last time one I'm air. Me share some data, any figures be. Now, I am there, so say me data and me figures are me share, and so no. That is exactly what the finance minister gave. Unless a war be before for the obi to me catch me. And say me hu ni amasa no kre nya me anim e ya na ma bitirimu ya mede. Because bitirimu ya mede na e ya mede say man ko di atro, man ko fa propaganda am build me page say me person nipa tu be me page so enti asem a enim kra na me be ginam na ma ye me content ni ama menti ase na me be gina na me ye de debi bi biara me de aba from 2020 all the way out to this time. Obi bia nu a wetumi aba manim abeka chem say Felix o ka say ye kohwe na ye bi da de nyame aboa me mama ye research de ababia na ebekwa kohwe no na no kre. So I was very happy wo ende adwuma minority or the mighty minority etumi di ye me ka kire mo say ye papa John Mahama number 1 South State of the Nations address no come you know is either says still John Mahama doesn't understand what it takes to be a president. As we speak, John Mahama and Shedante says your boss say one the president here. A Juma woye and a bra as will lead the embassy on Shedante as here. Because only the first person I be any I ever bow. Not say on Crawford would do my sarando say omumwa nebu amembu yen cano cranch. Now also penny toto no sabi ye dia samo brew now also nkoye mu senkyere ne like empense mu who say oh bia dia philosophy so kwa chede maami eye no kre bia dia okuja to abro kwa de maami eye no kre na wo de ye tworo ma wa na watwa kakra na wa share space na wa betina ho na wa kind raw without checking factor they be are the true people will come inside and come and sebi expose you uti. The people with the fact would always come and expose you because me say me a president here. Answer na me kwa kind speech I di ama me krano. Me make sure say me anka say me what we call due diligence. Na ma hwe say ni ama mo di abra me say me nko kan na ye no kre and I say ye no kre. Unfortunately for Ghanaians we don't check for these things. And we tell penifo na ba mu to be kan bibia no ma kan sa na de ko. Kan bibia de famu sa na de ko. Mesremo. Some mistake na ye de akwa akoto tokoku ma e de abeto ye so a sebio openi a ye use anka brabe boyen and then ni na akwa ye complaints no mesremo mamo ma ye nye sa mistake ni bio na Mahama ya ye kana semu oye nipa bi a ne techerema ye friend no double edge sword na dwene entumi nsipi muntie ni ye John Dramani Mahama president of Ghana na dwene a ekuta no entumi nsipi enu nti na no so sesa every time based on baby ojina se ene Mahama kotu okadafo a esono kasa obeka akire okadafo okotu road safety commission fo a esono kasa Mahama beka akire omo Mahama beko ekohu okadafo no akasa memba mema mo atwi okada okohu state safety way for so na sabi okada no kura utwi a emanipa wudodo enti enya de papa so because say only strong mindset only strong in onona adwene nti no bibia John Mahama de baba bia na ene oka ade achi osibi ofa girl we ade achi osmakofa bi and that is exactly who he is na sa 4 years here die enim ye ode abetina so yi ye no mo bi de ye de ato ye ho so say ye be seda ye adwuma tie ni ye ede bie John Mahama to pefe de akere Ghana fo ni na say ye kan no na mantia now no niama ode ba ne nsese ya o ye ne ba mu wahunu say Sabi Felix appear at TikTok Facebook ne wan ya na okasa no enye obi na na amani skill enye nu dwa bi na no odwa o na mbom na wasua hunu obi a John Dramani Mahama tie ama na hu say John Mahama nye obi obetumi de Ghana akoba bia John Mahama excellency no bibia se ba na mambu amede bia meka asem wi yan Ghana fo ankasa no onyankopon nim nti na ode sankofo wi no man but obi bia wadwene mu to obi bia we correct na nye politics keke na wudi akiri no ebe ya den pa se wo be choose Mahama again as a president. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense because this man is doing something sadly million share the page for me sadly On one kasani party for any bebre kura ma yehuni say no kura me say Star National Democratic Congress and I say National Destroyers Party is a Congress no Agenia woman crop for one sebio ebio mesame srem penifo etwe ewo fom bebre so adwene enye adwuma meka so ma adwene enye adwuma wo ma adwene enye adwuma kire say me kwasi apia meti hei se me befa opona no na woto se bedwunso edugu me so a ade echi a me befa ho bio da bi me nye saa nanso sebio agimifo kakra no woni a wo ma adwene enye adwuma kakra wo NDC mu no womo no waba na wode sebe Johnson no kura gu nanim no afa no obetwe ni ti de awura mu mo na de boni bi wo kura activity de afiri so. And the reason is they don't learn. They always want the easy way out. They always want the soft way out. They always want the things obey fast no they nya pa no we will be phone now akwa be no akoton no ajiska. They don't want to use their brains and their might to work. That is the problem that political party has. I didn't make us simple. If you everything I tell you, I give you the reason I'm saying it. So oko checking and you can come back and fight me. Sure. Both NDC and MPP ni nara. And the Ghana phone ni na mebu na wo say ye pay adwuma ye. Tie ni o. Ye pay adwuma ye. Okay. And na womo tina opposition 8 years no. Adwene a womo boto Ghana for 3 mu ni na ne say aban a teso ya na na adodan kwa kufu ado aban ene ba wumi aban no. Womo nwe ne Ghana mebu no ntina adwuma ni ho womo nkreti ye adwuma. Na se nyame adom na se wo Ghana ni a wo ye NDC MPP CPP EPP whatever you are. So what to about the John Dramani Mahama no ba be president ya. The obey ne say this time obey create adwuma. Dia de wo NDC for the enu kura po ni say yes san so ka kire mo say the enti a ye kire mo say ye be create adwuma ni say ye de nhihye ye bi ba ye fra no eye 24-hour economy. Now, sa 24-hour economy, se upese woti asiye ya, nenti asiya eni, ejuma bako na, nemom di ayebe ne se no yebe fe nipa miensa. Na ye fe nipa miensa, ye tumi ayeden, ache shift no edi amomo, na womo aye. Which means say, it is supposed to be a fast-track way of creating employment for the youth. Okay. Now, you confirm when in our who did they? Youth in agriculture, youth in tree planting, or canin in our Samokaya, the famous Mebuno Somuntina Yabaye, say Yaba, Yabama Mualentin boots, Nayamamu Abubuya. Near the polytank sim na ya mamo sekan na afemu di duenua mututu na mo katakata all was supposed to be a way of creating jobs for the youth of Ghana. Now the youth of Ghana should listen to me and listen to me carefully. Abai no be promising we saw the 24-hour economy ba no dear sebio oba wo ye adwuma no mensuro John Mahama onyu adi. Wa wo ye adwuma sese no mensuro John Mahama ba enya ade obeyi wadi wo be koso aye wadwuma na ya sign the 24-hour economy ni wan no e de aka ho asem a John Mahama e ka kire yi. All right. Na ena me kai mo ade bi a manti ase se mo be kai a ebra na omo opposition no ana ebra na ye koto aba no. One of the major thing omo kan and I say one of the major campaign messages here NDC for kan ema ye be hu say omo be create adwuma ana say omo ba omo mo obi enko and say they are now going to make sure say they streamline adwuma down na obi a aye den enye bi aye. Now, let me remind you. Yeah, they are nurse for be 15,000 no say bibisa. Na ye be form. This was somewhere in September, October, and na ye be form. Their opposition then, NDC led by John Dramani Mahama, Ekatre Ghana for the say, and I quote, "We should not employ these nurses. Nemum, yamma nurse for an interfere. Na omu ba bemua. Oma be fasa nurse for an eduma. Untimi can tell me say on kaiwe. Mr. What the insult no can come. It's okay. These days I'm getting used to it, not to react. Into more the amount to insult number. The American can say, dear Okachre yen say, or no John Mahama dear. So baby dear. Sebio ye you be me can not in opposition. Oma can say announce for nanka ye form a jumamuno. Yen jaro me jumamufa. Na yen train. Na yama NDC for mumbra no more bar on my before me. This is clear. And yamu question American. This is the communique of NDC. As a matter of fact, Phyllis Ofosukwache was very, very instrumental in writing that memo. Okay. I feel the NDC buyer. Tadio. Yaba Ubia Beyanejuma, Neafedia Kamo. NDC buyer. Dia Omo can say. Oma buying an aba, and unti and that's a obo ready VLA. Utie, Moamo Nina Mumpie, Nayam Fan Yan this for boys and Kosho. And that's a obo ra yan fan say POTOOR. Or some more Nina Mumpie. Nia ya buying a bench for being Kosho. Now they be a mecacho says, "Ya will be Jimmy for Jimmy for copying down." So, papa, no mammy do any muchre with Yansano. Say Yansan knew a mutrimua. Just the Ube Jimmy for copying said that would be other than make us a very simple. One POTOOR way Ghana for a year tomorrow. And a Ghana for a guano. Sabio say Obian Conny bottom and in the party card and fan trust and party card near. Who is there or your NDC ni and I say MPP ni. Utie. Oh my so we NDC ni and I say we MPP ni. And who is a bochi yodium. Ekobo report ka say yan buy na bench obi a wo bi MP ni yembra. What if say one more okopa mo no bebre NDC for? What if say one more one kasa party members? But because a nyansa no wa from adwene no wa from na bitterness any bojeshiegu and there was our party ni tirimunti no. Yes, sorry, I need to fair from Kunya. Yes, you police station. Making police station ni adie bia. Yes, said that kopa chow ahemfo adie na wo krom ho. E said that call service security council for say, baby I do need there. Mumbre your police station because near me mo ayeden ayetare wa ha. Election no politics intino. Okwabra near to me akoshi police station na. And that's when your case here honey and never call na abaya to me be did there to charge the agenda no. Ni good free say police station your bra you did to charge you be so long as a police for 9 year the NDC for per day. Yan question one yen say wodi na. Is somebody following? And that is why I said say for me, my aim is one. As much as you bet Chreniama, yeah, the facts, and then no. One of my ultimate goal is to make sure, say, the Ghanaian electorate, and as a Ghana for to Abano, what my dream be MBP no man who niama. Because I know any idea a boy for. Now, faith the second twist of it. And this Nina, you're promising, say, ye ba bemwa, ye bema nejuma. Now, all share, you say, the savior, Utie, the savior, John Dramani Mahama, Ebebe, yomu di omo free omo predicament. John Mahama, ye Jini di say, baby, on buying a duno, onu nebe to me at show mining ye more mine jina, and untia to Abamano. Yet to Abamani, we are Muntia, Yansana, Miss Woman in the Bakusini. Onipa no odi ni wure se ni mu no pe kwan bi e dada ne se Sikani won't hear Jumana make us some of the man and Yama okay. And they are happy. You see how they think? The country was our party, no. Why do you need from Unya Bayfua, a bad things over this party? Because me John Mahama dinti. Now minim say I be a fool, but to me I ain't. And I say John Mahama, cyber baby so. John Mahama baby, oh na me expect so the hope baby or finding every way to tell you say he is indeed a clueless and excuse me to use the word a useless president. And the people who believed him so are clapping say he is finding excuses to tell them. And these days it's very funny. When you meet the NDC people, this is what they go. And I'm more mine no cramo come and Jessica and I'm when Jessica. The same NDC under John Dramani Mahama. Ghana for now in 2016 say Yaya then Yaya Namna Manaka don't pay, there is no money. How are they going to do free education? Omu to me free education sikeni ho. How are they going to do planting for food and jobs? Omu to me sikeni ho. Yaya Namna Manaka. This is MD thing. They cannot say some refi. Yeah, mom refi. Yeah, back omo. Yeah, back omo. Insult me, dear Monsieur Mon family, but me these days that is not going to derail me. I mean, when say insult me, say be the nyati simu pay. Sister Diana kai. We say kede go down for the baby. Be a best kata. No the yeka. The ayeka and na the yeka. Ye jina wa say I can know you. The American say John Mahama promise say who NDC ni say Oba Obama wedwuma. Uti Oba Obama wedwuma. Also would to me a question and expecting so be adwuma no. And then you to me no koka and say we ya. Mahama person what to with him say sika ni ho. Enu ti adwuma na meka say me de be ma no se menya ma wa okay. Uti say metu mu no okay. Then we go back to look at this. Sikeni ho say. Mo kona mo se ma renam no manaka dompe. Nanso enamo na aka dompe no. Yehowa adawrumenti. Tikesi awi adwe kwaku ado dan kwaku fu ado. Etumi tena asene ne ba obia menim ni na yidi menim ni local name kam de so ma no. The waste of Ghana politics. Etena asemu say even though some Crawford say Yari Namno Manaka Dumpino, Dumpino just like Ezekiel prophesied to the dry bones, you bet prophesy your Juma good dry bones, I'm an eye Juma. Now, future trick. Let me get serious now. By the way, Baumia for president, you're starting in them. Yanko. Sure. See how John Mahama Kono. We are Juma Yeni Awaketi Ayentia. When John Mahama Kono, Oko 2016, no, we are Jumayeni and our cat ya 3 months, 1 year in Tiauka. Not more for an year Jumama buying 26 months in Tiomoka. Junior doctors 11 months, they been 16 months in Tiamoka. And several government agencies in Tiomoka. Let me give you a prime example, and all thanks to His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and you know Kasemo. There is this company called ECG, Electricity Company of Ghana. Ebra John Mahama all kono tieni. Na seven prebiasa. Akesha, any Azar, any Parazo. Yedi betri sebe. ECG 4 offices na ga ye kura ne ye niska. Tieni. Ye niska ne ye de be sa. Enu nti na se ye betua ECG 4 car. Aje se ye san kwa aban ho na aban akope bosia na de atua ECG 4 car. Nti ne ye penyansafo na wo nti. Ansa na nanado danko akufuado ebe free hono. Na ECG, and I'm very serious about this. Since 2019, since 2019, ECG and government won't go to Peswa Posa Monfamwa and Fanso your rent. So, Ebrana Mahama Wawa Nesikawa men, according to Mahama and his NDC, workers were not paid. There was money, but Mahama decided to put priorities according to what he's saying, because I say his economy he left behind was better than what he came to inherit this time. So we are going to do the comparative analysis of their all can say, they are all can and ukre, and answer papa way, wafa Ghana phone in answer pofunu and old tree and condemn. Abraham Mahama wohono, or send a sika wo. Yet Ghana ni aketua eke mu yantianeka. Tieni pa. Abraham John Dramani Mahama etia konwa so 2016. Teacher ni aketua ni yentua. Nadmo, doctor, abai lawyers, government workers, staff, they were not being paid. But according to Mahama, ne sika wo. Fast forward to Akufo-Addo. And now here can say Mahama ko jina Ghana fo ni na ani maka kiro mu say Akufo-Addo en jeske bia nto ho na oman ni ye broke enti amamwo no so wantumi amukura mo fa ne sa because oman na ye den oman na ye broke na so mo hede nyame be oman na aye broke no since 2017 up to 2025 January 6. Every government worker was paid. No government worker can tell us, say, his pay did not come. It's a lie. Every government worker, Akufo-Addo na yese ware nam no sika bia ni Ghana ye broke no. He was able to pay workers. So any logical person bia enyan kwasia politics na wo ye. Na mbom wo pe Ghana kan ko ye. Na wo gene Ghana ho. The first question I be saying is, hold on a minute. Under John Dramani Mahama, he claimed say his economy was better. So why me as a government worker, why didn't I get paid? Why are we not asking these questions? Is it true that Ghana really has the lowest IQ in Africa? Is it true? Are we the second lowest IQ in the world? Is it true? Because why are we not asking these simple questions? Mahama was in Ghana yet. Ejuma wo ho. Sika wo ho. Nanso ejuma ye ni aketua keko wenye how do you call it incentive so when ye the amount to say allowance and I say bibi o there be when ye ejuma wako clock in time sheet. Ejina wo 9 so 8 hours 9 hours atina wo to so e dia ye ejuma de ama ban. Now, basic salary. Basic salary is a buying them out. A buying this again 26 months no on 2 hours. Yeah, the same a buying now 6 again on 2 hours. I can't show plain say, Sabio, and Nana yet to my 4 country broke. And they have so much influence on the media to propagate their lies for them. Sometimes my heart bleeds. Because my heart bleeds, other people don't understand, but my heart bleeds. Uti, my heart bleeds. Abraham Mahama won. Na Ghana, yeah. When John Mahama was president, Ghana was very good. Ghana had money. Ghana had jobs. And the question I'm person me bisa say, me pacho Nana Dubai no ochro lete bi say sebio mo amoye adwuma na munko fie na me ba na there bi. As a matter of fact, when the senior officer of the party and the government or Safumafo trying to even say ye recruit MPP for more into the system no, what His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo told the whole cabinet, most of them were angry. For some of you who don't know, the cabinet people now know to a president Kokai, their president Kokai and they say Yes, selecting me say I'm my president of Ghana and not president of the MPP. And no, and the dear first way, dear we and another than Kufuado. Now come a penti. Utie. Yura can attend for an ankasa babeka say. Nana do so no dear or person or person president for Ghana, not president for MPP. And who thinks or child ya or betcha will be a then will be any. We have done ourselves a bad service. So yeah, deep on be Ghana for Muti. Yeah, deep on be. Now, Bonina, ya didn't say no, Memeka. Say, the young feeling, Uti. Young feeling because I'm a budget and buy. Young feeling because I feel the year winning, I feel the year day, yeah, Gigi, and yeah, go home, chilling near the idea, so we don't see it. Now, a beba, a bebano. A bra, I feel, ufres, I'm a on fat. Ufre on fat. Ufre Rike on fat. Ufre John Mahama assistant on fat. Ufre way on fat. State agents in fat. Yes, I think I tell them say, Mummet ya bribe. Utie, Mummet ya bribe. Na yam famunya den. Yam famun kwasi se jumemwa. E ho na beto baby nka. Say there is sweet victory. That you say we winning. Until the obi beka bi an here okra na utie. Sa boy no kra we dey Cali fellas non fuck off. O fellas no wine. Oh, fellas, okay. Enjoy. Because yes, you are about party, Musana net here. When we first won, the same thing, and I say, yeah, MPP are banning your cocotti, Satan, Nanabinum, Nanabi to Mr. Spence, be no crab, who be that. There's a barracuda, there's a wow, Bon and Nina, there's a Gaga, same Pina. Nana be a shell, ye be, I said, there's a Wayan who contracted be, there's a yes, I always said that when it didn't mean any yes, Opunkus polos be nyame be Kali. Yeah, guy, no sa. And but I'm not ya cano. Near the ya didn't say ya ba with me and tea. After you started say I did 20,000 to go to immigration, you know, and I can't be before they be anything. And not the money. This is for much money. Emre yin nkaso. And that the Amin came by Aquasia someone because of the Biogina. Now, Ochina and someone making Abessa back. Now, one can solve it now with them. Yeah, I say. And now, one question, someone would be in tune to me, Mamma Jim, to me, said the American and no cray, and to be show them no was. A bit when I'm smith, my brooch, Papa Baby. Enjoy my Papa Baby. Muntio, Ghana for Munti. Muntini and Yanubi, I jawam Munti. And I'm a Yanubi. Ye be a Juma, ye this come in a patchy baby. And a year cancer and panel Ghana for. John Mahama came and promised you the NDC, you'd say, oh, Bema we Jumaye. And that John Mahama is trying to trick you by finding a way to tell you, say, there is no money, there is this, there is debt, there is debt. And instead of you, as a Ghanaian citizen, who be when anyone said, Papa, or person in the line of you, he is trying to find an excuse not to perform. And some year hard work, so no. And before by Oman just Kabia, Oman just go, Nancy, you're to my forecast. Yan just go, Nanso Kania Nessiso. Yan just go, Nanso Sabio and Quada Elpimiaco school. And now, you know, say, so we Ghana education system. Say you know, from SS1 all the way to university. Year 4, meboa. 4 years in uni. Year 4 no. Women in Nano, majority of them, except Omo call private school, a product of free education. TNE. You started program in 2017. You Frabemu 2025. Okay, which means say, and Kwada one university no, TNE pa, and Kwada one university and they are no say no. Bebre, any free education here then echo. na arehu se me woman say ebra na ono na ban ti so no na ne school fees inti enkoda na just so mu go school in shift make a shift at ase papa ni ska o de ne ma me ensa ni na be go school enti kwado bonsu wona wo de wo ya de wo class into de ye be peska e de wa ko ss atabrago wo no wunya aggregate 20 ye ntumi mfa wo nko because meet cut off mark Zetovi elia amelio ebanka sikani fi eno na me pesa me kan before no fan cheme ega melio na maka no ega melio enti wo de kona koso abanche kotu banche na bra bedwa na fetu agbalima na fachi gari usuwe juma no. This was the situation John Dramani Mahama left before he left office. It is in the paper na nye sebium predia sankwasi politics BNP NDC Jimmy Ebinaya. How do you tell me say oh government went to yan fa woman school? O government in every school. Government ya own penasema kufado shortman devil achim saka wadi all the bad names you can send to him. Yet on my 6 minutes now to me cool school. Uti on my 6 minutes now to me a day to me cool school. The occurrence of medical teachers training, we have allowance. The occurrence of medical nursing training, we have allowance. The occurrence of Beko University so Nyamin Chadie under the able leadership of Nanado and Dr. Baumienti, yet to me the Student Loan Trust Fund ABBA. Amen. We are Ghana near Kola, the Wiana Ghana card, and a switch card. Utia of first semester term. The second term now, Obano, the government takes over from there. Obet Mosika and our loan. And the Akosua Kopim da Ube level 400 Obre graduate. Now one graduate here we know. Yenim say akola de uwie school and your prekope and a winya adwuma. Enti loan na ye de man as a student no, yes hold on to it. Koya with national service. Why you with national service we know? Per adwuma. When you adwuma aye adwuma 1 year we na sebe. What umpa, what plate, what serba, what to toto 1 or 2 in Kua or the best chama boy. Next time Yamani na boxer shorts papa bi and yet the Yaman Rollins bullet no. Come. What to me yes I dear Nino. I say she alone back. She an kakra. We are Juma wa Bemu and you better say loan automatically thanks to digitization. Now you did Tiawa cano, you did Tiawa cano copim so bit your can be. Minua utie me asemo a mebeken enya me kwesi na meka eye no kre wa wo abru chiro wo hionim sa asemo a meke eye no kre me kwesi me 2 schools am me call ye ni na Amba college ni man York University both of them eye aban alone ye bi and am je ya me the call me we college ache since 2000 I think 2009, 2009 and now 2008, and I'm in college. Absolutely, me da so a me yeden me tia. Utie, I'm still paying that till now. And ultimately, back on university kurano, yan said that mommy loan send me from school because the am one I mean tia and they say me tia answer. And ulti, so swam pastor utie bruchire. Na obuye no kwafo na opese Ghana kosura eye den na wo ka kire me say the same system ye use to we brochire no nti ya ka systems ni ya adwuma 247 the same systems America for use the same systems sabe Canada England one obi ya use ye de bi ba Ghana de a enye adentia enye na ban na wo ntia. Not the same person that me can say, oh, say, I'm not collect students loan to go school. And no mom, The entrance exam, entrance fee or the university there, I buy the bed to your mama. Sometimes I am my because some politicians never find it too cheap. I'm gonna find it too cheap. We like sometimes we need to let this brain do a little work. Yeah, I say you're cheaping your one both and it's both NDC and PP. I say you're cheaping your who too much. It's the only can be we just take a look second line and then we gone with it. But in Sri Lanka, you for year and we be say, you to your way near bay. Now, yes, Juma we are copying say every Ghanaian get enlightened to know what a good government is and what good governance is all about. Okay? Because say yanya sa ebedu brebi no ye man no ye hu da bia ebekwakusi na hese aban bia ubedi ade a president Kufuor bedi ade okay can say me national health insurance may say e won the manifesto enu nti president Kufuor baaye no o make sure say sa niam na okay kan ye ni na no oye FQ you know oye ni na de magana Professor Mills baaye he was more for reforms. Professor Mills who say a system no say reform ni amebia bibi to say to me I dem president and also do say GB free in sem. Into Professor Mills was somebody or no there or you more of reformer. Say young reform ni amana no na ye. Now Otumisu ye do baby to the point say he is the only president here under him no ye the highest level of GDP growth. It was under Professor Mills. The lowest inflation was also Professor Mills. So that was what he did. And John Mahama, and so Ebabetuaso. Now, this is my difference, and the reason why I see say John Mahama cannot be the solution, especially not to the problems that we face in Ghana. Okay, and then they say he failed, number one, to implement a legacy on the minds of Ghanaians. For the time now, will be the idea. Okay. And you know, Ebema ne niame pia or castle be Hope City. Why all of it didn't go through. A flop, a failure. These are facts. Unless said end this in being baby service, you know what, Hope City no. Now let's move on. John Mahama stands in Parliament to deliver the State of the Nation's address. I say Tuesday, Donald Trump would also give his State of the Nation's address. And what it is basically supposed to do is to give the citizens hope. Maybe America, John Mahama, because he was a bad luck president that came to Ghana, everything he did or everything he does is backwards and never progressive. Say you say by a president here, Oba business man afraid be assets and liabilities. A car would be any near my pa sa government and as I say you man now all checks and balances. That is how it is. Sana ya no baby uko baby sana ya. And so John Mahama nko baby adia. Also on the on problems, on liabilities, or assets nko. And it doesn't tell you say this guy is a lazy guy. Seriously. It's not telling you say this John Mahama is a lazy guy who doesn't want to work. Every government comes to meet challenges and assets. Ababy no obeto papa obeto bone. It's ya then John Mahama the only day be papa nkwa no person oto. A point in case na name they say finance minister no because it's something I mentioned to you guys last week. And it's very bizarre and very shallow and childish. Sabi, he was the vice president for Evans Atamil's president. Okay. And Atamil died in 2012. John Mahama became president fully 2013. And on his State of the Nation's address again, he complains that he was handed a bad economy. And remember, this is an economy that was growing at 14.05% under Professor Mills. Under Professor Mills, 14.05%. You can cross-check and come back to me. I mean, Eguha, Yarena Baba Negua, at ya say, Yesuya, na Baba, and Egu, and Yima, why you might check and one Egu. Check, it is the same. John Mahama complained, though, on one Kasana buying. Obia wouldn't be the president. No, John Mahama complained, said he has inherited a bad economy. Meanwhile, he is supposedly, supposedly, he is supposed to be the how do you call it? The economic management team head. And he's blaming his own self that he handed his own self a bad economy. You're serious or Ghana? You're serious crowd Ghana. A group in a eating hall. You're the near be brave, dear grow, say, Kruno, Minam Kamicho. You're the near be brave, dear grow, ever say, Kruno. Never my politicians, so quite, I won't continue lazy. I'm going to continue dear bro. Because they are all common on now, Memako research, can no Kurena, Chilena, may expect to say, and Kobefano Kurano, now Ochinabi, MPP new, NDC new, politician, Bibano, oh, Betana, Tura, citizens now, Sabra, as someone who came and who be paying. MPP for by on McCain, NDC for by on McCain, into their who came over, they began a new pair, no, they got any person and say, yeah, and let there be a question taxi rank. Yeah, but check docuno. Yes, Ramo docuno will I said that they have about 3 city there. Motion of man family, will be Anfabako, Ampa, or Bekako Pesca. Every labadi, Tinipa, me catch the mentality of them. Or Pesca, every labadi, Atnakemu, Ako all the way to Babia, and Isabella Tabia question on her. Yes, say, yeah, check docuno 1 ball of king kipeno. That is how low we have brought ourselves. That is how cheapened we have cheapened ourselves. And that is why John Mahama, as a president, who is supposed to give you hope, who is supposed to be telling you what he will do to avert the mess that he claims is there. No, Charlie. John Mahama became president in 2013. I said, we are making a being. Yes, it's a Uniswahili late. But it is the fact. Now, Mesrem also. Now, Munko Cheku will so mami. Because Makachre will say, this time it is all about truth. And nothing else but the truth. Ebra, he was the president. And I say, Ebra John Mahama became president. There is something we call budget. And it will be this why a friend of supplementary budget. Budget government, no, a full appropriation on my yes, okay, health, you been here say, where you been here say, education, been here say, you can see a year, youth in bicycle riding. Sika say ni here and the you per se 24-hour economy. Sika say ni per se there say ni say. So it is budget. That is the full budget. And you want supplementary budget. Supplementary budget supplementary budget na se kira ne say no kure make asa mo ma nsuo no baako na metumi awie adwuma ni na demom me call ya no after just 3 days. Masia baba ke say ensuo na mode ma me na anye den anso enti mon san pesika foforo ma me na me fa nkoto aso me ken na why your budget you e wu say ensuo no baako e na beso ye de ma wo wie na wo kon ya wo se baako na ye de ma wo nsu ntie ma supplementary nti ase kira no Sika yedema ono se be wan so hwe. Nti wakodi ni biara. It is a Binance ya ma fufura na say government a approve fufura ma wa. Aduma na yede share won sasa ko water flowers no. Untumi water. That is all supplementary budget means. Now let's talk. And again, you can check parliamentary hazard. You can go to i.parliament@bemau.gh. i.parliament.gh at the Bemau parliamentary hazards in now be now decisions I take in now be now near my yesika I did in now person who quite made a manufacturer now also I could be no channel banner maker some so bra felicitator bulls and Ukraine maker. Now Shadi. So for Kwame, Mammy Gassim since 2013, Mahama so I could friend Muye say, as well as our president, you know. Every mid-year review from 2013 to 2016, John Mahama and his NDC went for what we call supplementary budget. You can check it. Which area American? But Chirabu say supplementary budget. And they say this guy was as a fakoyam coin. Now we call you this kind of to make up for Kwanso. Now I say about Kachira who could say Sikana also may find out bank wine and so into me so na me fakoya bank wine. Obra ya man sabaya ya man no kra ne de ne de se bi this kaka kra bi ne de man no. Ya this kaka kra ma ya man sa no. Watumi akoto ko obi. Watonto su kakra. Wagimeko okunu wi apetesi. Nti wagimeko. Se de be ya nkwan no meko betinim. Se be ya ya nonom ne ama no. Eto da ya na wuhia bibi kakra. Ebetumi ama se be apetesi na tete. Nti watomeko. Watoka nto se ana abeduru. Watoka kakra. Wakoye sebe nkrakra low budget kama awo fufu atum e de abre ni kunu amanedi enye dan ya anadwi ya mansa ebeje ne 3 point aduane a wano enku ade ye didi ame de ye mu ayedu ye bebo adwuma akonsu ya bomo sika na awode ma ne se wono kura de anka won to dokono keke na wontwumako nyankwan bomo entwumako ento dokono kekere mra na muni na mu ndibi no wokoya wakojina kwa no so diskana rikalombo asanya baba ka beka tro say we wan face kan bi anka ho a wontumi ntwimako no ma. That is John Dramani Mahama. And this is not just 1 year. From 2013, read my lips, listen to this and listen to it carefully. I dare Sami Jenfi, I dare Mahama himself, I dare anybody, whether MPP and DC. When I was here, so with him fact, yeah. Show me which year from 2013 all the way to 2016 now, NDC didn't go for what we call supplementary budget. Now, and young kwasi asemwa, and the citizens need be adwene e wo fom a. There are no budget supplementary budget na so when we projects. Edija ne mama ni ka wuram. When we near more than Sakoti can, Yaman, for that is legal. FCC is more service hotels. Ah, what does not take me quite hot air bread with teaching allowance to create farm and the young farmer. Senya bonnet any yard in the world, Trimua. How do you tell me, say, that person rather is a better management of the economy than Obia, Kakrana would say, and Sano, or to me, the year where you ma in your own fast walk. You must say that you see, and when I get angry, you see these days, there be question control. And you'll be an argument yourself into control. Because me personally, no, I don't understand. One government, we want to know which one is better. One went for supplementary budget every mid-year review. Projects be Brian Showman sending now. This they come back and I'll give you Jesus, Ghana for no, we are wicked. So dear we are MPP no AB and then your party TNT, but Charlie, a brand new people will begin to feel it, and I sense it, I see it. People can say, yeah, MPP and this while debut or minor kind corner, you know, young Shen here, Ghana, I would be a bit too because what sense does it make? I love John Mahama. However, John Mahama was not able to pay me my basic salary. I love John Mahama. Yet John Mahama came for supplementary budget every project he did, to the point where it is there for everybody to see. Sadly, $200 million. What is the $200 million going to do? The $200 million is supposed to deliver us 5,000 affordable units. 5,000 affordable units. Yakoyani akoche skano srania basa. Ediskano 198 million out of the 200 million is gone. Yankoshe ejuma yediaya yakoya 1,500 5,000 away yesi ebesino yensi yo demo emu 1,500 ena yasa ase 1,500 no so no dia yetumi wie ye ekuru so ade you can say ceiling ni ade obobo ho e plaster ye painting ya esese ye twikanea e twi nsuo ni ade de ko ho according to court document again. According to court document, 684. 684. Nelson Samson ayi. Why nanim se ayi? Brofo wantibi. Nanim ya se nanim asem. Samson ayi betina wan wo kan kwasi asem. Nanim brofo tan se keji ni troye. Omo beka kire ye say. It is them that have started the project in T. Yeah, mom quite no more complete. Me, I say I hear almost 1,500. Hey, I feel the assembly could do court now. Yes, to my quantitative analysis for more share die now almost 1 month. No, now report. Yeah, share ya. And Dania, yes, see, and the Akasa way they see I can't see a better light near the Abem 684. 684 units. At Sikani Yeti, Anka, yes, I bet you for. In Tianka, NBC signed to us 2016 now, and conversation cannot discuss it. Young Fancoy's agreement. It doesn't make sense. Every business owner wants a manager or workers that can spend prudently. Prudent spending. I see anything. Making sure, say, this can be just like that, keke. Scano, ye did not accordingly. Yes, ma'am, say, me fan koto baumia for president. Ye ma'am, 5 CD. Me call ye na makoto chena ba fe. Me manager ni beje me ho. Ye catch me say, me 5,000 Ghana. Me fan koto to. Ni ama fan mredwum. Me call ye me koto to the pepe at the buy. You do baby cry me the me music across also na me dey there me the far transport buy. Me manager be who say me any papa. But Ghana the only person mo kire say to you and this one person mo kire say. Dia ono this scammer na o tumi call here o kodi ni hu ni de buy no. Mo tap screen so TikTok for no. Mo tap so power tap ni na mrem. Dia ono no ye this scammer no a want to me enkodi dwani ye. Ask can question ya just a Simon for France, according to NDC for no. Or your papa chain the award when see the share and say we could do money pepper by. Tell it, I know the mammy did your matemo. Sometimes a tefa me boom sana, and yes, I become a genuine in Tiasia. Now, may the last hour, okay, it will go through a year minority or the mighty minority. And then Omaniama be a Omoye our parliament. I'll read through it but still I will do my best to run through them. Sometimes we read there, people don't like to stay. But I'll read just a few. I'll read just a few of them and then we will go on. John Mahama Kwaka said, Ghana, the state was criminally run. Hey, Mike Van, man, to look at you, at saying, she page in my that's a pass what not joining me. And I'm a hope. Mr. Remo, State of the Nation's address are on mine. MPP caucus, now the mighty minority. The mighty minority, and so Akwa on a true State of the Nation's address, and that's what I would like us. You better run it through it quickly. We know you have gone the at some places. I will just go through it rapidly. I like to read the opening statement, and kudos to Dr. Mohammed Amin, the former finance minister. I'm so happy for what you people did today. And I just can't just thank you. I'm like you guys enough. Or say introduction. Friends of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens. Today is an important day in our political history, as we, the mighty minority, is here to present the true state of the nation, following the president presentation of false state of the nation, which is exactly what John Mahama did. A false nation. What pens will call no one to me to edge my forecast. And then you to edge my forecast. Or see a name more you to edge my forecast and more many moon yet. What pens one to edge my forecast and no more many only you choose that part. Last Thursday, 27 February. It is our hope that this will entrench our democracy by providing factual information on the state of our nation to the Ghanaian people, who are better placed to judge over the handling of affairs of our country. One would have appreciated a true state of the nation's acknowledged challenges in 2022, the remarkable turnaround as a result of the decisive policies of the NPP government, supported by the IMF, and the challenges still remaining that will require steadfastness from the new government. And then when this is backed by a clarion call by the president to Ghanaians to support him and his new government to consolidate the gains, you would have had consensus across the political divide to drive the building back better agenda for Ghana. But what did we get from the president? Rather, he chose to do propaganda. And we can assure you that this propaganda will come to hit and hurt him hard. Now let's go in. Assessment of economic performance. President Mahama accused the previous government of ending the year with a headline inflation of 23.8%, above the IMF target of 18%. This divergence, the president indicated, showed a poor performance of monetary policy. Isn't this the typical story of the glass being either half empty or half full? If one looks at the fact that the COVID and the Russian-Ukraine war crisis driven inflation to 54%, as at the end of 2022, which is true, and dropped sharply to 23 at the end of 2023 within 12 months, then a headline inflation of 23% should be seen as a significant positive performance. And then, 2022, Ghana NBN inflation koya ko 54%. Afei, Yangma and Yansafo and Yenho. Mayare, Mako doctor ho. Mayare ne to me abafom. Doctor no oye, ana onye. To me, dear, what to me ama mayare na abafom. Doctor no oye good. Mayare, Mako doctor ho. Doctor ne to me and shame ama me dro ama me want to me. Doctor no oya dear, there be onya dear. In this case, Ebra John Mahama be dear dear no. Inflation rate of beton a single digit. John Mahama, sorry, free abandon. Now inflation at 17.5%. Meaning, say, for every year John Mahama was the president, inflation cost through. For every month he was the president, inflation cost through. Not a single month in the car say a few a month where inflation by from under John Mahama. It is a uniminansa. Now we are here. Now, obi doctor be to me, my Yariana 54%, no. Yariana about 23%. Obidia or better on single digit 8%. No, well, to me, I'm now quite could be 17.5%. No, I catch them say any pandum wama yari and I west no. Better than Obi Awama Yari Abalu. It doesn't make sense. What he has there, it doesn't make sense. Now, Yanko, for those who are familiar with Ghana's program with the IMF, these minor deviations from the program targets are sometimes normal because we are dealing with a very uncertain economic environment. And the deviations like these can also be explained when one analyzes the data. Per the rules of the program, we will need to enter into consultations with the fund as provided by the consultation clause so that both the government and the fund can assess what went wrong and see the way forward. President Mahama has shot himself in the foot by his rush to paint this situation as bad. And soon, we will see how he recovers from this. What the president also failed to do was to inform the people of Ghana that there are other significant measures of the performance of the economy that inform the state of the nation other than inflation alone. Real GDP growth, trade balance, current account balance, and international reserves, the performance of the financial sector, among others. These are the important components of an economy: the real sector, external sector, and the financial sector. I'm trying to read it brief. The average growth in real GDP for the first 3 quarters of 2024 was 6.4%. Bear in mind, John Mahama free horror. Not inflation, okay? And now, sorry, not GDP, sorry. It grow at 3.4% in December. It's yen show. Obi or no not GDP, it grow at 3. Any obi on why GDP it grow at 6. And then on no one need to grow at 3. No, every country will say, "Oh, more than 6 ni more back." And people are believing it. We have media people who claim they know, they put on their spectacles, sit on media. Oh, Mahama has done well. Oh, Mahama is doing well. Oh, President Mahama's government was better than now. How better was it? How better was it when GDP under Mahama was 3.4%? GDP under Nanado 6.4% as of December 2024. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. It makes sense. The trade balance also shows a significant economic improvement, maintaining a surplus trend since 2017, ending 2024, with a surplus of 5.9% of the GDP. Surplus, I see anything. I had the kid to Abby. Eniama omaino ekraba omanimuno. Eswate eche dia ye de kwama no ne koton surplus asiano no. For ye pese ye economic savvy. The patchirano no. We only get a surplus when you are producing more, where you can actually send some outside, or what you are sending outside of the country is more than what you are importing. And you know how we were able to gain that? Most of the factories are here under one district, one factory. And now, Sabe, and this is where to Futrogun Confweni, almost factory, almost shades or qua, or could just or talk confino. Almost your factory, and so could that or Tom steam tomatoes, Edben Webiane. Okay. Because of these agencies and job growth, we were able to ship more outside than what we brought inside. That's a surplus. Okay. Now, Yankwe, if this is bad economy, let's consider President Mahama's record of a deficit, when you're surplus, a deficit of 2% of GDP as at 2016 when he was leaving office. Mahama baby adiano when you're surplus that because the time I near boarding house no you did na Samewa na what there could be some patro surplus or one surplus or one some may be na fatwa on Yamaso. John Mahama and to me surplus back crown fan to Ghana for. Now, the current account balance also ended 2024 with a surplus of 4.2% of GDP. The very few times in recent history to have a surplus current account. And such a surplus tells us the strength of the external payment position of the country. True. Throughout the history of when President Mahama was in office and without any confluence of crisis as faced by the previous government, the current account was consistently in deficit. And he ended 2016 with a deficit of 3.1 of the GDP. Ghana for kakra mutie. Eba ne saying, and at their ono went to me amount surplus. They went to me amount surplus. Eba be catcher. I'm about big up yourself. Eba be catcher will say, or no more you better change the amount surplus. Now was what GD. I don't know for my how do you believe such thing? I don't know any form how do you believe such thing? Obedient to me amount surplus. Fellas, obedient to me amount surplus. Obi abema surplus. Or say, their amount surplus only a bad government. Their 1 amount surplus no a good government. Because we end this in 80. It's quite a shame. Let me break through this quite fast. Now let's talk about the exchange rate. Okay. The context of inflation and exchange rate. President Mahama again cited the headline inflation of 23.8%, and the 19% rate of depreciation of the cedi for 2024 as indicators of a badly managed economy. It is important to provide context to this. Following the COVID-19 and supply shock globally, prices of food and other essentials increased substantially. Even in the advanced countries, inflation averaged 7%, very high for countries that are used to 1% inflation. Canada, we faced it, it is true. The causes of this rise in inflation globally were not far-fetched. For example, COVID slowed down the world economy due to lockdowns and the closure of factories and offices, including major port facilities across the world. And this adversely impacted global supply chain. Also, many countries implemented fiscal stimulus to revive economic activity. However, faced with supply constraints, the increased demand resulting from the fiscal stimulus led to a higher inflation. To control inflation, the central banks of many countries led by the advanced economies resorted to monetary tightening by increasing rates. This led to significant investment reversals from small open economies like Ghana, weakening our currency and fueling the rise in inflation. This, together with imported inflation, pushed Ghana inflation sharply to 54% by 2022. The current rate is 23%, as they put it here. Now, it must be noted that COVID struck the world. The NPP demonstrated a record in inflation management. We brought inflation down from 15% 2016 to 11.8% in 2017, 9.4% in 2018, and 7.9% in 2019. Inflation for 2 successive years remained a single digit, the longest period in our current economic history. The effect of the pandemic began to be felt from 2020, when inflation rose to 10%, and and then also 12% in 2021, and then to 54%. It became the peak that we all know. Let me move from there. Now, I'll say, we know that there is an inverse relation between inflation and the strength of a currency. A higher depreciation of the currency would automatically pass through to inflation in developing economies like Ghana. This means that inflation would always also be higher, and the reverse also holds, therefore. Following the sharp depreciation of the cedi in 2022 by 50% inflation. Sorry, inflation was also going to rise sharply. This strong pass-through would naturally be a major challenge for the managers of the economy. By reducing the rate of depreciation to 19% in 2024, we have seen the muting of the pass-through to inflation, and this effort cannot be glossed over. This effort by the previous administration and favorable result produced should be appreciated by President Mahama and improve even better outcome for our people. Now, in addressing the issues of buffers created to support expenditure, buffers ni esika abanjegu say you fan support niama you best spend the expenditure you be or mind be new government ne ba expenditure be no buffers no na yankwe expenditure and maturing debt obligation. The president focused on the sinking fund as if it is only source of buffers. The sinking fund is just one of our buffers. At each point in time, the government designates some accounts for buffer and for purpose of special payment. In the last 8 years, such accounts included the sinking fund, both dollar and CD account, and Eurobond proceeds account, the IMF proceeds account, and the Treasury main 2 accounts. For example, the IMF third review disbursement of 360 million was done on 2nd December 2024. But this was kept as buffer until December. Sika yenya yeno yendi MPP for ND. Debia, I say they say if we are not able to educate people, they will come and lie to us and take the power, and then they will give us excuses, which is exactly what John Dramani Mahama is doing. Fix the country for freedom fighters for one. Look what they were saying. And all of a sudden, those people have lost their voice. We can't hear them no more. Sikana yeji ye ewo IMF for in December 2nd, no. Abai no ND. Because you say new government member obey here says cano. In the side 360, no, it was kept in the buffers, as it is said here. Part of which was used to pay coupons here, amounting to 346 million to Eurobond holders on 10th January 2025. I feel what you say. Sikana yenya jin in December 2nd, no, and we be near the 2 wa John Mahama ba ye what to me baby you be a year 10th January at the day. At the Eurobond before. And where we are is the same. Similarly, in October 2024, we paid $520 million to our Eurobond holder for the first coupons and other fees. But again, this was not done from sinking fund. How could we have made these payments if we didn't have buffers? Say yenje uska Mahama, eya den na wutie tua woka. Also your mind na kufu ado and blow it down. One more mind in the yet where to me a uska would eat with debt obligations. Yaya Bonne, Ghana for. The MPP also left significant amount of buffers, more than 5 billion Ghana cedis from end of 2024 revenue collected by GRA in the Treasury main 2 account, which the new government has used. I'm saying, may you win. I made a baby. Now, may I do more china? Me a chance, baby. I will continue. This is my person. A baby too long show. So let me read this final one, and then we will be out of here. Should I even know? Let me leave this for tomorrow because I better work for tomorrow. Let's stop sharing it. Good evening. Good evening. Hey, Sister Betty. This is a matter of giving me a moment around now. We are back in full effect. Talk. Unnecessary talk. Let me show. Charlie, more like page in the common shares in the. Let me just share these few data with you people, and then we will call it a day. The first one I'd like to share, this one. Man was hard way. Picture ya monhwe eye Sami Jenfi a wakojina nsuo ho se galamsey apa. Enti no ya say Ghana nsuo. Ene maintain say NDC for ejina nsuo ho eye campaign bi o say nsuo asay. Adan nsuo ni na ani ate na Ghana for. Nsuo na ya boy yetiri so na ban we ya galamsey wa say nsuo me pa cho. NDC for ba abem nsuo no ani ate na. When I feed you, so be a fine. Munyansu papa no. I catch them with a moody before to aba. Na sa aba we are moody before cotton yam. Obetem obebinka, and it is going to happen. Yanko, next one. Then I'm literally away. Yanko, hey. And now, I know what I say. Treasury bills auction. Aya Baumiane Nanado Hono, and this is for some penny my emburu because someone in the same. Meanwhile, John Mahama and an crop for Koti bill Numaku Buru 6.49 billion Ghana cedis. And interest rates will definitely plummet further. And I say, they are promising or bring a better economic living. But starting able to at the first one. Share this instead. I've already spoken about this. I've already spoken about the current balance. Now, energy sector debt. That is what I wanted to do. Energy sector debt. Mama yenye we na yemfampon. The energy sector debt. Na yedi apon. Oh, we there low too small. I don't know if you guys can also read it, but I read it for you so we can all get it. Especially more TikTok. Tap on the screen, power tap and everything. Let's go. You're behind this is here. Okay. So, offer a year the true state of the nations here. Mighty minority the by here. Or say, President Mahama accused them with the space. It's I don't know. Or say, President Mahama accused the previous government of ending the year with a headline, there be inflation in our energy sector. Oh. Maybe. Oh. Any. Any. We want to say Michelle. Yeah. Okay, young quick. I say the energy sector debt at the beginning of 2017. Now Dubai and you take it 2017, you be take it power now. Stood at $2.5 billion. According to the Ghana Energy Sector Recovery Program, the energy sector was badly managed to the extent that the debt could reach 12 billion in 5 years. Okay? Dollars, by the way. If nothing was done about it, President Akufo-Addo ensured this did happen. And I say he did make sure he fixed it. The NPP administration kept the light on by spending 6.2 billion in the process over 7 years. Yanya ba ya ne yankase ya diskane koma your girlfriends you. Ede kusisi dai. You tia $6.2 billion to keep the light on. Again, it was finance and nothing technical. All right. Now, with 2024 expenditure on energy alone standing at 1.4 billion, it is important to state also that the bulk of the ECG debt, the president reference, came from excess capacity payment because of take or pay energy contracts signed by President Mahama. John Mahama and then some more can say and MPP for Jaka in terms of the energy, you know, on my Jaka. Also, no way Jaka to a year 2 billion. Meboa 2.5 billion. A car who jaya in the energy sector. They too no. What by idea? I was saying that no be so energy sector. Just say on mentality no join one. Entias you. Now a can also cry your coach more. And you take or pay, and you quiet day, you cost inside. Take or pay, I see anything. Take or pay, very simple. The I this for children say, Omo be fa adwuma. Name mo adwuma mu na o ma fa wo no. Se wo be adwuma, one be adwuma, o mbetu ya woka. That is all it means. Take or pay. Wo be adwuma, one be adwuma, you betu ya woka. The president referred to some 55 store project funded from external source because of non-disbursement of 2.9 billion pale in the shadow of the savings we have made for Ghana, which he is going to be a beneficiary of until 2.9 billion. The consequent savings Ghana is making through the rescheduling of debt services in respect of these projects shows that our debt management strategy was a masterstroke. The reason the president must applaud us rather than doing politics with it. Now, on the petroleum sector, on the petroleum sector, the record will show that production of crude oil has declined because of President Mahama's signed contract with 13 companies. Mahama 13 companies be on your person sign agreement here you beto munti and an beside the most of which had no technical and financial capacity to undertake oil activity. Until Crawford ready class be dealing in oil and a Mahama and the sign in Krata. Okay. However, President Kufuor administration rather introduced measures for aggressive reserve replacement on assumption of office in 2017. As a result of these measures, between 2018 and 2022, 7 discoveries of oil and gas were made. The question we will ask NDC is, Mahama 4 years or by, how many sites did he discover? Mahama, the years will be as president, how many was he able to discover? And then Midimubisia na meja mu na me adoma ochina nyankwa na metiase na boni bia nka me amese ababio na ye dinyama no enkomo maka kire mu say ye dey say no letting the facts stand and educating the youth is our main mantra. Your better politics no say election time on do ye nti sa gidi politics ne dey be, but for now no you spend time and they expose John Mahama. Now you expose how incompetent and clueless he is. Now you are Ghana phone in that you say on you be obey to me the Ghana echo do baby. You man a chance. The brother Professor Mills who you went to me. You signed to Obama no man be president. And also went to me and you be papa bia. And yet me I work what if our you week no and Obama chance obey to me am Ghana after into my pay for. Mama you now. Politicians there, the opediaji vote and Obabeka. Now, what's so out your man? Free education, when you're home fast work. Planting for food, when you're home fast work. Nurses and teacher training allowances, when you're home fast work. Digitization, when you're home fast work. These are the things you see. National Ambulance Commission, when you're home fast work. And then by a bobo ya accept. Anyways, my main fancy, I answer me, yes, I'm a twice or better pass. Until you be na madam ni na say mo modern na mutie me na mutuni mo mo share na me nhyira mo mo bedi mo dance so akira for so nyankopon nhyira mo na oye mu ni na kese na mo kan hu say education forum na ekoso enche bia omode bill I say awufo bi atua de ma ne ba e ma ne ko free education no omode beba he de abre mo na mo akutua na ye pesa mo be complaining. Yes, why you want man on no motion a man free. Yes, you want my show. nti ye ntumi emphasis ke bia emre mo e wo Ghana ho da mu nyina ase nyame ntina ne mu kyerɛ mo na ɔnyɛ mo nyina akɛse Ghanaian press is the most wicked across the globe appear could be Udika and the morning baba hwɛ ya asɛm de akɔma ya tamfo yɛfra asobɔne ɛte asɛm ɛde kɔ yɛsi anobɔne yi ano aduane ɛdi yɛ wadanse kurom yɛka saa ano no tom wɔna pɛyɛ sɛyɛ dambɔne ɛrefiri ɛnyɛ wɔn kyɛfa wɔne ɛpɛ sɛ ɛreyɛ nam agya ma wɔnwe wankasa wɔnam wɔne ɛpɛ sɛ ɛnom yɛ mogya ɛnom wankasa wɔ mogya ɛwɔ yɛ so amahyɛ bi amen Charlie we do be see na me aduma say share bi thank you all ma mo support you on TikTok na me entine no na kyerɛ wo na ɔyɛ mu ni na akɛse all right bye bye